Welcome to Knafs Night. I'm Ben, and today I have a very special guest, Eric from Blades and Bullets, who came on the show with this $4,500 knife to answer the question, are knives a good investment? Let's go! Before we get too deep into the expensive knives conversation, I want to let you know we just launched the Kickstarter for this knife. It's called the OCT. You can go check it out. We will talk more about that later in the episode. Additionally, every single week we do a giveaway of a Lander 1. So you can be entered to win by going to our website, knafs.com/newsletter. You put in your information, and you are entered to win every single week. Now, last week's winner was Robert B. from Burnsville, Minnesota. Congratulations, Robert. Behind the camera, Jamie is cheering because he is also from Minnesota. We like you guys. Now, Eric, welcome to Knafs at Night.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
This is exciting. Okay, so just a little bit of background. I need you to tell me what's happening in this picture right here.
That is a long time ago. That is the Blade HQ open house when they moved to American Fork here in Utah.
Yep, to Pleasant Grove, the new
I
building.
actually remember taking a selfie on that day with you and Epic Snuggle Bunny.
Nice.
Austin, the two of us.
I love it.
So, yeah, showing off my Medford right there.
So I met Eric, I think this was 2018, at this grand opening for Blade HQ. And he's like, I like big knives. And I'm like, I like small knives. You couldn't have somebody who has absolutely, totally different knife preferences than me. But also we have a ton of overlap too.
Yep.
So Eric, I want to dive into this. Tell us what you brought. What's sitting on the table here? How much? Let's start with a dollar value.
Wow, a dollar value.
Are we talking like $20,000 worth of knives here? $30,000? Like
No.
How many?
I would say closer to the 20, maybe a little over, just in this spot. So it's not everything, just some of the stuff I brought in one of the cases.
Okay, so you're like a deep knife guy.
Yeah.
You can appreciate cheap stuff, but you love expensive stuff.
Right.
Do you collect and stick it in a closet, or do you actually carry it?
No, I carry it. In fact, this one here, this is a Jared Ozer, and you can see it's got wear all over the pocket clip, the blade. He's finished the blade for me again because I've scratched it up. So, no, I don't care. If I'm not going to carry it, it most likely will get sent out.
Okay, so this is a $4,500 knife, is what you said you could sell this for.
On the secondary, not direct. Direct knives are different.
Okay, let's address that for just a second. What would you pay for this buying it direct from Jared?
So direct from Jared was $2,400.
$2,400.
And I got to choose materials, do the build, whatever I wanted.
So this is a true custom knife. You said, I'm Eric, I want green, what do we have here, micarta?
Yep, green paper micarta.
You've got, what's this?
Mokume.
Mokume with
shield.
its sweet inlay.
Yep, and the back spacer's Mokume, and then darkened tie.
What's the blade steel?
Now I'm trying to remember.
Oh, see, this is funny. $2,400 knife and you don't know the blade steel.
I'm pretty sure it's Magna Cut.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I love it. Yep. I love it. So you go to Jared and you say, these are the specs, this is what I want, and then you buy it for $2,400. But then if you were to resell it on the secondary market...
Right, I've had an offer at $4,500. That's why I put that as the amount. And I've had several offers to buy that knife.
Okay. This is the part of like knives. I am a guy who makes a knife. I sell a knife. I'm like, cool, knife is done. Like you look at the Lander 1. This is a great EDC knife. You've given it to a bunch of kids in your orbit. Yep. This is not this, right? Obviously. What draws you toward this stuff, Eric?
So I started collecting probably back in 2014.
Okay.
And I started with, CRKTs and $20 knives was my jam, right?
Cool.
I spent money on a Blur, was like a little bit more at like $70 back then.
Yeah.
And then my first $100 knife was the ZT-0300.
Okay.
So I started with, I won't say cheap knives because I think there's a difference between a cheap knife and an inexpensive knife, right?
Sure.
Cheap knife to me is gas station quality. Sure. Inexpensive, a lot of your knives are inexpensive 100%. To me. And again, we've talked about this too, right? My view on price is skewed. Yeah. Because a lot of people are like $200 for a knife. Never would I ever spend that. And that's just like.
You're carrying a $4,500 knife, right? What's your most expensive knife you've ever bought?
The most expensive knife that I bought, I paid direct, was over $4,000 for a Frank Fisher Battle.
Dang.
But sold it for quite a bit more.
Okay, so sitting on the table, what's another piece that you're like, oh, this is really interesting and cool to me?
To me, I love Utah makers.
Yeah.
There are a lot of makers in Utah, if you didn't know that. And so this one here I picked up from Shane Atwood at Blade Show West 2 years ago.
Cool.
So this one's pretty special. This is all his own. Yeah, this is all his own forged Damascus. Both the mosaic Damascus on the blade and the Damascus on the bolster.
Beautiful.
He does such a great job. Very underrated.
Let's talk about this for just a minute. So Shane is taking sheets of steel. Mm-hmm. He's tack welding them together. He's forging them in his own shop.
Yes.
And then making his own knives out of them. This is a very, very different process than, hey, supplier in Asia and China and Taiwan, I want you to make us a knife. Here are the specs. This is like a custom-made birthday cake where you're like, I want it to be 5 tiers and I want it to have ribbons around the edges.
Right.
Like, this is the highest kind of custom that you can order and own, right?
Right. When they're doing all handmade materials, there's makers out there making every part of it. They'll take their own elk antler and sculpt it out and stabilize it and add it to a knife that they've made all the screws and the pivots and everything. So, yeah, you can get as custom as you want.
Okay, so part of my question here is this a good investment? Because you've got $20,000 sitting here on the table. Mm-hmm. You've paid how much for this?
Significantly less, probably. Okay. But, the knife market is an up and down system where you probably 18 months ago was over 30,000. So is it a good investment?
Oh,
it
interesting.
Just depends on when. Depends on if it's a custom. Depends on if it's production, what type of production. Like the Hawk knives, right? They just came out with their talent at Blade Show West last year. Those ones, as soon as people were getting those, they were flipping those. They were $900 approximately, and they were selling them for $1,500, just like in seconds, right? But now you come back, and when I checked yesterday, sold for under 1,000. So they come down. So timing
so
is
we're
everything.
Doing big swings.
The market is everything. When everybody had their COVID money, right? They were getting this money from the government. They weren't using it for household goods, which was the design.
These are household goods, right?
Yeah, they're tools that you need. So that kind of flooded the market, right? Everybody was buying. Values went up. And then now that things are getting a little tight again, values have come back down. So.
Interesting. So why do you buy this stuff, Eric? Like what inside of you says this $25 knife is not good enough? I need something with mokutai and fanciness.
It has gotten to be somewhat of an addiction.
Has it really?
a fun addiction to me. So when I started working at my job back in 2014, the guy in the cubicle next to me had a fancy little pocket clip hanging out his pocket. I'm all, well, what's that? And it was a paramilitary too. And I'm all, I've never heard of that. All I had were hunting knives because I've been hunting forever. So he started telling me about this, and he's all, yeah, and it comes in these colors and different steels and all that. And that intrigued me. I'm like, you can make different combinations? What is this, right? This is like a cool thing to get into. And so as I learned more about stuff and higher end materials, they drew me in. Mokume is my favorite. Mm-hmm. Mokume is my favorite material, partially because of the patina. And interesting fact about Mokume, mm-hmm. it will patina differently upon your heritage and medical conditions. So I'm diabetic, so I got my little thing right here, right? Because I'm diabetic, this has changed according to the oils in my skins because of my sugar content.
You're pulling my leg.
I've gone to a doctor for this to find out, really. And that is why I can get purples and pinks and different colors out, where I took this to a get-together recently at Jared Ozer's. Yeah. And everybody's, I want to see this. So I handed it around. Everybody's little grubby hands got all over it. And guess what? It turned gray.
Really? This knife right here?
It turned gray, and it was driving me crazy. So I got out Clorox wipes. I wiped it down, kept just holding it when I'm working at my desk, and voila, it came back out with my colors.
This is part of the joy of custom knives. Like, if you're carrying a lander, that's great. You're gonna pay $45 for it, $48. You're not gonna pay $4,500 for it, but it's not gonna do Mokutai stuff. That's crazy.
Right.
Wild. So it's a bit of an addiction for you. That is fascinating. This is not my realm, the realm of customs. I go to all the blade shows and stuff, and I walk around and I'm like, that looks cool. Oh, that's very expensive. Like, I would never buy that, but I have an immense respect for the people that make it, and I'm interested in the psyche of the people that buy it because it's fascinating to me. It's a totally different world.
There's aspects of it. There's the chase, right? Yeah. Sometimes when someone's going to have a drop or a lotto, just the excitement of getting in the lotto and your name might get drawn for that specific item, you know?
Okay, so if you're unfamiliar with lottos, how do they work, Eric? I go to a blade show, and then what?
So if we are going to lotto this knife, for example, you can go and sign up to be drawn for the right to purchase that. Yeah. People get confused. They see this thing and they say, I won. Well, give me my money now.
You're signing up for the first chance to buy it.
Yeah. Yep.
And if you win, you now put $2,400 on the table.
Right.
Usually
you
cash.
Have like 24 to 48 hours to pay, and if you don't pay, you get blocked, and he tells all the other makers that
you're no good.
Yeah, so
that's amazing.
You don't want to get on that list. Makers do talk.
Oh, yeah, everybody does.
Yeah.
Okay, what else in your collection is exciting to you and interesting?
So I love the exotic materials. So this is a black Damascus flashlight from Yellow Day Energy. It's got your different color LEDs and. I just like to have an EDC package. So I have pen, I carry my Mokume coin that's got my logo on it. I carry a flashlight every day. I have EDC, right? Yeah. And so I just like my EDC sometimes to be just as fancy as that, but I also carry $45 flashlights as well. Yeah. So this one just happened to be the one in my pocket today. Usually carry a fixed blade as well. So this is a fixed blade by another Utah maker, Rugged Mountain Blades. Gene knows I like purple, so he surprised me with this one. It's got the purple Turbo Glow liners on it with stabilized purple mammoth molar, which is, it blows me away. Okay. They're using things 20,000 years
So stop
old.
For just a second, because we need to say that slower. Purple mammoth molar.
Yes.
Basically what happens is in the tar pits of wherever, they find a mammoth tooth. And somehow this moves through the system of animal products, and they make knife handles out of a woolly mammoth tooth.
Yes.
And this one's been stained purple.
Yep. So they got to stabilize it so it doesn't crumble. Yep. So you can use different color epoxies when you're stabilizing, and this one has the purple. And then a cool copper my blade.
That's so cool. Look at that. It's beautiful. You got like a nice copper liner in there too, huh?
Yeah. Yep.
It's beautiful.
I have another knife that I didn't bring that has woolly mammoth tusk ivory as the bolster. That just blows me away. They're using meteorite that whoever knows how old that is for sure. And then woolly mammoth stuff that's 20,000 plus years old.
That's wild.
That's pretty neat.
How much do you pay for that one?
This one's not too bad. It's like $500.
Okay.
So remember, not too bad.
Right. I mean, we sell a knife that's $275,
With everything on here, right, this is my go-to camp knife. This is what I carry every time I go camping because it's 20 CV, which is a very good steel, right? I love my Carta because when your hands get wet doing outdoor activities, it grips more. It doesn't get slippery, and it's very capable, and it's a great size.
So this is a funny part about Eric. We have been friends for probably 7 years now.
Yeah.
And Eric's like, Ben, I like your knives, but they're all too small. So like Baby Banter comes out, and Eric is one of the guys that's like, hey, nice knife, it's too small. And so in part, the Big Banter was part of your input, like make this, but bigger.
Yep.
And that's exactly what we did, which is kind of cool to think like, the opinions you have influence the designs that exist in the market.
That's awesome to hear.
I always appreciate that.
And do you remember when I got this? It was
Remind
at Blade Show West 3 years ago. The first year Blade Show West was in Salt Lake. And we brought 4. And you had no idea they were even at the show. Yeah. And I went and I saw it. I'm like, the Big Banter. And I went and bought it and brought it over to you. You're all, where did you get that?
Classic.
Yeah. So, and that's another fun thing about collecting, right? Being the first to get something.
Yeah.
When we had Blade Show last year and Hawk Knives debuted the Talon, they had the very first signups for that prototype. They had a couple prototypes there, and then they had the very first signups right then. And so we were the first ones, and everybody's like, "Holy cow! Where did you get that? How did you get that?" And go to shows, people. Go to shows. It is an amazing experience.
That's so cool, Eric. Yeah. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to talk about the OCT that is live on Kickstarter. This is the old college try. Now, I'm excited about this one because this is Matt Fitzgerald's first design with his maker's mark on it. So Fitz is our in-house designer. He's done other stuff, like he worked on the Lander 5 with us quite a bit, but this is the first one that I'm like, Fitz, go wild. So it's been really cool because it's like, you look at my design language, these are not the same. And I get a kick out of that because not everybody wants a knife that looks like a Toyota Corolla. And turns out all I design is Toyota Corollas, and that is okay. But I think it's exciting to see what Fitz is working on. This one comes in blue, green, or black. It's called the OCT, and it is live on Kickstarter right now for, I think, probably another couple weeks, or did it launch today, Jamie? I don't know. Weeks, Jamie says. It's good to have somebody behind the camera who knows all the things. So that is the OCT Kickstarter, and we're going to throw it over to Keith in the ShipShape Sharpening Shop. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, welcome to ShipShape Sharpening Shop. My name is Keith. Today we've got some interesting things. I'm going to start with just this Lander 4 that Eric Bennett brought in. He used it for some can opening when his can opener broke while he was out camping, and doled it up pretty good, but it held up really well. So I got that edge touched up for him there. And then we have, I believe that this is a replica trench knife, and this one is handcrafted in China, but really interesting piece. The blade is a little tweaked off to the side a bit there. Really thick blade stock on this one. Really tough to get kind of a solid edge on that, but we made it work. This one's super cool. I think that this is like a Vietnam souvenir knife. You can see that it's engraved Vietnam 66 there on the handle. On the other side you have Mercado. Not sure what that means, but you also have some like embossed lettering here. Just a really cool piece. Really like this one. Anyways, back to you guys at the desk. You got the tatered.
While we were on break from the ShipShape Sharpening Shop, I was informed that I was calling it Mokutai and not Mokume. What's the difference, Eric?
So there's a few big differences. They're all forged in the same way, right? So you're just layering up your Damascus or your steels, forge welding them together, stretching them out, and you have your billet. But with Mokume, most of the time it's going to be with 3 different alloys: your copper, brass, and nickel. And so those 3 will make it. In Mokume's wood in Japanese, right? And so it's supposed to look like a wood grain if you look at that. So, and then if you have
this is why I can't be a fancy boy. I don't even know the difference between Mokutai and Mokume. I'm like, I don't even know, man.
And like this is Zircutai, which has alloys of titanium, different alloys, right? So different levels of titanium will color differently. And then you add in your zirconium, which when heat anodized turns black. And so you'll get different colors that way. So yeah, titaniums, and then you got your carbons and your stainlesses, and it goes into a lot.
Okay, Eric, you're such a fancy boy when it comes to knives, but you're driving like a GMC.
Yep.
You're not that fancy in the rest of your life, right?
No, and none of this comes out of family budget either. I've built this up from getting knives, selling knives, upgrading.
Do you have a spreadsheet with all of your...
No, I wish I would have done. I've been asked that many times if I had a spreadsheet, but also people have sent me full collections, and they'll say, here, sell these collections of custom knives and keep 1 or 2 for your time, right? Cool. So then all of a sudden I have a free $2,000 knife or 2 of them from doing a bunch of sales, because it does take time. I don't do pictures like some people are like, buy my $3,000 knife, and it's a picture on their bed sheets, you know, with terrible lighting. If you look at my pictures, I like to take great pictures, so it takes time to take pictures, to sell, put it on the different platforms. And so people pay me for selling their collections, and I use that to build my collection, sell that, get something I like, different things like that. So
that's so cool. So one thing I think is interesting about you, you've got expensive knives, but you carry a lot of cheap knives too. Inexpensive, excuse me. Inexpensive knives, like the Lander 4.
Yes.
Tell me about this thing.
So I carried this in our church organization. We take a bunch of young men and young women, and we go and visit our pioneer ancestry and heritage, right? And so we were up there, and my wife and I were in charge of cooking for 200 people, and we had 42 cans of green beans to open. When we got to can 24, our can opener broke. So I said, well, I got a knife. We'll do the rest. So I took out my Lander 4, and I opened 20 cans of green beans with the Lander 4, and I was shocked. There is not a mark on the blade.
That's amazing.
It was dull, and any knife is going to be dull.
Sure.
And, you know, it's still good steel, but it just dulled from use. But it was
amazing.
It was awesome.
So you poked the holes with a screwdriver,
and then used the knife to get in. Yeah.
That's wild.
So it works really, really well.
Why didn't you use your $4,500 knife on that, Eric?
I didn't have that. So on Trek, these were my two knives. I usually always carry a fixed blade and a folder. And a lot of times I make sure to carry a fixed blade if I have an expensive folder, because I'll use it for normal things. I don't work construction. I don't do
You're a
crazy
desk
thing.
jockey,
I'm
right?
a desk jockey. I do SQL database work.
Cool.
So I don't have to do more than open packages and, you know, wife's, oh, you cut this because I don't want to hold a knife. And,
Sure.
things like that. So sometimes if a hard use item is needing to be done or used, I don't like to use the customs. I'll just pull out the fixed blade. I carry appendix right here. And
Got it.
Use the fixed blade to do it. So
that's cool. Okay, let's talk about your other knives on the table. What have you got here that you're excited about?
Part of the obsession, right, has developed into, I don't want to make knives, but I tried to design a knife, and it's harder than you think.
It is.
I, sat down and I'm drawing things out, and I'm like, man, this is really cool. And I'm looking at it, and I'm all, that's really cool because it's so-and-so's knife. It's exactly like their fixed blade.
Yes.
So I came out with this one. This was a design that I did. I went down to Vegas Forge and forged my own Damascus, which was really cool, and brought the billet back to my friend Ryan Weeks. He's a Utah maker, Ryan W. Knives, and gave him my drawing, my billet, and he gave me the actual knife. And I had two of them made, one for me and one for my son for Christmas. So we have matching skinners.
So you got marbled carbon fiber, a little bit of G10.
And some burlap.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Beautiful.
And we wanted it kind of a rustic mountain theme, because this year I drew a tag for deer and elk, and this is going to get put to use.
Cool.
So, yeah.
That's exciting. Your design, your Damascus.
Yep.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
Done. What else do you have that you're excited about?
I have been a Strider fan ever since I went to Blade HQ for the first time.
Cool.
That's back when Strider was in stores, right? Yeah. That's not there very often. So I have this one here. This is a Strider XL. Going with my theme, right? So you can see if you get choked back how far up that is. So it is big knife.
What does the Strider go for these days?
So this one direct, I think, was $1,700.
Wow.
So you can sell it for a little bit more. Strider's really been upping their production. It used to be very limited drops. Now they're having 2 drops a week.
Okay.
So every Friday and Saturday they're doing drops. And so that's also brought down the price of them on the secondary, because they're not as exclusive anymore. There's more inventory. So, yeah.
Interesting. This is one thing I find really interesting. From this picture, I was carrying a ProTech Calmigo, and you were carrying some Medford that was huge. This is like the difference between you and me. You like big knives, I like small knives, and this ProTech Calmigo is fantastic for what I do.
Yeah.
But you're like, no, it's got to be huge. You brought in one day. I don't remember what knife it was, but it was.
Oh, the Jeff Vandermeulen double homicide. I still have.
It was called the double homicide. I'm like, no.
Very fitting for that knife.
That's amazing.
I like collabs. So this is a collab between Ryan Weeks and Borka Blades.
Okay.
So one of their fixed blades. And so When you collaborate with bigger makers too, prices go up, right? So this was over $2,000.
Wow.
So it's a cool fixed blade, a crambit. I don't flip them around and do the crazy things because I'm chicken. That's why I don't own any Bally's either.
Yeah, I don't blame you there.
I know I will cut my finger off.
Yeah.
So
you only get 10 of them.
Yep. People get these crambits though, and they're flipping them around, and I'm just like, whew, makes me nervous.
That's not for me either. Beautiful knives. I think that's. I also love the fact that you have beautiful knives, but they're not just showpieces. You carry this stuff.
Yep. I carry this.
Do you have any that are safe queens?
I do not have a safe queen.
You carry all of them?
Every single one of them. Even my ones I've sold. The most expensive knife I sold was for a collector. It was $13,000.
Wow.
And that one was crazy. But I've sold some of my own knives that were set over $7,000. And I carried them daily.
Yes.
So
what's this one here?
Is another Utah maker, Knafs Knives. This is the Raku. In Japanese, that is comfortable, right?
Cool.
And that's what it is designed to be.
This is a Darren Thomas, right?
Yep, Darren Thomas. And it's got this spirograph Damascus that's made by his brother Devin.
May I?
Yes, and it's a button lock. I love button locks. They're fidgety, they're fun. A lot of people do know me, and when they think of my collection, purple. Purple is my favorite color. If a maker's putting out a purple knife, I get a whole bunch of tags, right? Everybody's tagging Eric, just because of how much I like purple. We just built the mecca of chicken houses, right? Our chicken coop that we just
Explain
built.
that to me.
So apparently when you turn 50 and you become an empty nester, you get chickens. That's just the thing.
How many chickens do you own, Eric?
We have 7 right now, but we're making our way up to 15. So we built the biggest chicken coop and run, and it's purple.
That's amazing.
And we call it the Purple Pluckingham Palace.
I love it. Pluckingham Palace. There is somebody who watches Knafs at night, and I can't remember the name of the business, but they sent us, we mentioned chickens one day, and they sent us a bag of feed and some Lander 2 scales with chickens on them. And I was like, apparently knife guys and chicken, they're like the Venn diagram, they overlap.
In fact, 2 days ago, I posted a picture with this in front of the chicken coop. So
that's amazing. I love it. Okay, we are going to stay on the farm for just a minute because we are going to go to the Moon Crew moment. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the Moon Crew, it's our Facebook group for Knafs. And this week is all about potatoes. But before we go into that, we got to throw to the outside of the store because there was a potato problem that happened over the weekend. So there I was on Sunday afternoon. I got a text from Athena. She's like, what happened to the storefront? And I'll tell you what happened to the storefront. Once upon a time, a guy named Kyle Burgess, Cougar Kyle, showed up at the store and he installed a whole bunch of these window clings at Knafs. Now, Kyle is a hitman. This came from our friends up at WorkSharp who sent him to Potato, our building. Now, here's how this all happened. We were sitting there at WorkSharp and I was up there and all they fed us was potatoes for like 3 days straight. So it kind of became a running joke. So I left a couple potatoes with some accomplices in their booth at Blade Show. And this is what happens. Look at this, potatoes all over the storefront. So welcome to the Potato War of 2025. WorkSharp, this ain't over. So we'll take some of these back to the desk because that's pretty funny. Well done, WorkSharp. So, Eric, you've seen the front of our store. We've been potatoed. We brought
I pulled up and they were everywhere.
What did you think when you pulled up?
I laughed.
Did you know that had happened?
Yes, I watched the previous video.
It's so silly. So, Potato War going on with WorkSharp. The Moon Crew latched onto this week. You've got this Potato War with the Space Kitties versus the WorkSharp potatoes. I thought that was hilarious.
That is great.
I love that the moon is kind of snarky too. I love when things snowball like this, and it's all good fun. It's all good fun till I plant 100 potato plants in WorkSharp's front yard. Michael Cassini, potatoes for dinner again. Knafs versus WorkSharp. And I love that AI just cranks this stuff out. And then it's Tuesday. Are you prepared for potatoes? So potatoes is the theme this week. I don't know what we're going to do to WorkSharp. You got any good ideas?
Mashed potatoes.
Oh, hadn't considered that.
Yeah. Yep. But you got to think of, if you do that, what their retaliation might be. So you might want to keep it a little cleaner.
We did think it would be highly entertaining to like pay off one of their assemblers to like start putting potatoes in their sharpeners and like get them shipped out all over. But then I was like, well, they'll grow those little roots and ruin the inventory. Like at some point, the war becomes more of like collateral damage, and we don't want to do that.
You got to somehow take the work sharp and get a potato peeler, the ones that you can put on there, and you just spin it, you know. Turn the work sharp into a potato peeler.
I like that. I like that. Friends at Work Sharp, stay tuned. You know, sometimes the not knowing is just as fun as making something happen. So, well played on that one. Going on to Mailbox this week, we got, you're in the Moon Crew, right?
Yes.
There's a guy in there named Chris Lastufka. And Chris sent us, he's been working on a Moon Crew coin. He sent us this giant Moon Crew coin, 3D printed, highly entertaining.
Excellent.
Comes in small as well. So we're talking about making it into a real one, but we'll see. We're working on pricing on that. Stay tuned. Other things that came in the mail this week. I like to back friends' Kickstarters. So this is the Grimworks Survival Firefly. And the thing that I think is kind of cool about this is it has a little ferro rod in there. Would you like the honors of the first sparks?
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
We're going to do it on this.
Take your pick. I don't think there's instructions. Oh, I like that. Oh, that's nice.
That's thrown out some good heat. Yeah, that's work.
I was at camp last week with a bunch of young men, and I'll tell you what, a fire starter with like a 12-year-old, hours of fun. They'll just sit there
We
for
have
days.
competition when we take our young men, and we don't start the fire at night with gas or kerosene or anything, and they're like, this is taking forever, and I'm all,
enjoy.
It's a good skill to learn. It's a fun thing. My father-in-law, we were just up in Island Park in Yellowstone last week, and he's all, why don't we just put some liquid on there and get it going? And I said, because we hunt. What if we're hunting? I don't carry a flask of gasoline on my side to light a fire, and we could get stranded when you're hunting, right? And so my son and I know how to start fires with just this.
Nice.
And it's fun.
Do you carry a lighter too, though?
No.
You don't carry a lighter. You just carry this.
I have a ferro rod that's this long, and I have fat wood, which can light during.
How fast can you start a fire with a
So we
ferro
had
rod?
competition. We had, with our young men's group that we took, we had a competition. We narrowed it down. We had our champion, and then he's like, I want a shot at the champ. So I said, let's go. And we just go and get our own things in the forest and get our nest, and then we start. And you have sticks on the side with a string,
with a string
across.
in the middle,
Flame's got to break that string, and I was just under 2 minutes.
Just under 2 minutes. How long did the other kid take?
3. So,
that's pretty good though.
Yeah,
for a kid.
he won a fixed blade knife with a deer antler handle and stuff. So
this is why I like you, Eric. This is good. So that came in. The other thing that came in this week. This is from my friend David at Ultimate Survival Tips. He writes these tiny disaster guides. So these are fun in here, if you wouldn't mind. So this is the bug in, bug out, step by step, a master plan to survive any disaster for 1 year. Kind of wild. Are you a prepper?
I in different ways, because I like the excitement. Chickens, getting my source of my own meat and doing our garden.
Would you like a tiny disaster guide?
Yeah, I will take that for sure. And to read this, I will need my old man glasses.
That's okay. That is all right. You're over 50, I've heard.
Yep.
Chickens plus glasses, part of the game. And then I think that was it that came in the mail this week. We always enjoy seeing what comes through the mailbox. Now, going into the last section of this, you've talked a bit about this, Eric, but what gives these knives value? What makes these special?
So starting at the top would be maker, right? You can be brand new and put out something with these same materials, but nobody will give you $1,000 for it.
Interesting.
You know, maker is huge, so you've got to get your name out.
How does a maker, Jared Ozer 10 years ago, how do they become big enough that somebody will pay $2,400 for a new knife?
Going to shows is the best way, right? Getting the product for people to come and handle at your show, at your table. That's a good way. And then social media. We started on the USN forums, right? So that was huge. And then all of a sudden Facebook groups took off and Instagram. So people, and I know you hate social media.
I don't hate it. I just, it's a time
a love
suck.
hate.
It's a love hate, yeah.
But without it, how do you reach the guy in New York when we're in Utah?
Yep.
You know, you have to use social media to get it out there. So that's where it starts, is the makers doing that, and then doing quality knives that you back. If you sell a knife and they get it and it's got lock rock, right? Blade play, and you're like, well, that's just how that grind came out. They're gonna again go to social media, and everybody's gonna say, "Don't get his knife; they got rock lock." So those two things, I would say, keeping your price reasonable. And again, is that reasonable? It is compared to his secondary. What we have seen is a lot of makers go chasing the secondary prices. So they have their set prices, and they're like, "Oh, well, it's selling for X amount more on secondary, so I'm going to chase the secondary price." All of a sudden, you price yourself out of your market. It's not exciting
because nobody wants to pay $8,000 for this,
right?
But they'll pay $2,400 and they'll pay $4,000 on the second, so $4,500 on the second.
I love going to shows because we get to meet the makers, right? We get to talk with so many other collectors and fun things. But part of the cool thing is getting a knife at table price at a show. Well, if they've all of a sudden chased their prices, and table price is now secondary, I have no more interest in it.
Yeah.
You know?
How many knives a year does, say, a Jared Ozer make?
You know, he's doing right now a Utah knife called the Zion.
I've seen it. Yeah. It's beautiful.
And mine will be ready Friday.
Cool.
So he did like 4 last week, and 4 or 5 last week, and 4 or 5 this week. You know, so he can pump out 5 knives a week if he...
5 a week.
Yeah, and you know...
So somewhere in the neighborhood of maybe 250 knives a year.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because
it's such a different
world. He goes to a lot of shows, and take knives to shows and stuff. So
cool. Tell me about the Microtech on the table. Why is a Microtech snuck into this custom realm?
Because one, this is again exclusivity, right? The Halo 6 is not very readily made anymore. So it's harder to get. And most of the Microtechs are double action, right? So you can push the button out, pull the button in. This is single action. So if you do fire that to use that, you now have no one-hand operation to get it back in. It's kind of difficult. So you have to charge the handle and get it back in. The other reason that I like it, how big is it?
Enormous.
It is big.
It's the size of my forearm, actually.
It is. I did a comparison pic on Instagram the other, just a couple of days ago, where I compared this to the Halo.
Is there a trick here? Do you
have to push the safety down, pull the safety down in the button, pull that down while you push it, and then pinch and pull it out.
Oh, and it's got, that's a new feature. I haven't seen that. I probably haven't handled a single action in 6 or 7 years. That's a different feature right there.
But the comparison picture is that with a UTX 70. They're
the tiny guy.
Yeah, the tiny guy. It's not the California legal one, which is smaller, but it's, and then you just pull down that and push in. There you go.
Oh, interesting. They didn't used to have safeties there or safeties
there. So that same model comes with or without safety, and I've owned 4 others, and this is my first one with the safety in it. The safety is more for if you want to just throw that in your pocket, because there's really not a
Do you ever carry this one?
No, I haven't carried that one yet.
I feel like if you were like in your office, like an office environment, and you're like, I'm going to open this Amazon box, and then it's like, ka-chunk.
Yeah.
That's aggressive, isn't it? Right?
And it's the surprise factor when non-knife people, in a safe environment want to play with your knives. That's what it is, basically. They go and you show them, I'm like, okay, now hold on to this with 2 hands because it's going to fire hard. Especially with some of the side opening switchblades, right? When they fire open ProTech, they are fabulous. And their action is so hard. They'll drop them.
Oh, yeah.
It'll just flip right out of their hand.
Even this little Calmigo, like if you're not paying attention, like, we used to joke about that at Blade HQ, like it's the arm jiggle, like how much arm jiggle comes up in like lunch lady arms,
Yeah.
But it's a thing.
Yep.
That's cool. Okay, I think we've talked about most of them except the last 2 on the table. What have you got there?
So this is a Borka stitch. So the stitch has an iconic blade shape. That's how you always know what this knife is. It's the stitch. And Sebastian, when he made the custom, they took off like crazy, and he partnered up with Microtech. So now you can get the auto stitch, or you can get the ram lock stitch that they are doing. So just a really cool blade. It's a simple frame lock, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing fancy
though.
to it. It's a frame lock, but I love the finish on it. Just they hold something good for me. I used to have a very exclusive one that I sold. That was my anniversary knife.
You sold your anniversary knife.
My wife asked me to. We have Great Danes. We have 3 Great Danes. So
Cool.
our family is big, right?
Yeah.
I'm 6'3", my wife's 6 foot, my son's 6'7", my daughter's 6'4". So we have 3 Great Danes. That just fits our family.
Yeah.
And for our anniversary last year, she's really wanted another Great Dane, and so she asked me to sell my anniversary knife to purchase another knife or another thing for it. Yep. So,
great.
But that's a funny thing with these knives. And you asked, are they a good investment?
Yeah.
Sometimes they are. And I have sold 3 for specific things. I sold 1 to pay for my daughter's wedding. I sold 2 others to do 2 trips to Hawaii for my family. So
what does it take though? Because I can't, like, if you handed me any of these knives and said, Ben, go sell this, I think I'd mess it up.
yeah.
I'd be like, I'd do some research. I'd be like, okay, an Ozer looks like it's $2,400. I'd list it, I'd sell it, and I'd undervalue it. Mm-hmm. What does it take to actually be in this game?
Research, and it's been a long time of paying attention to what table prices are, what product launch prices are, and then seeing in the forums and the different social media platforms what knives are selling for and keeping track of that. So sometimes if I see knives that are my same ones that are selling, I'll screenshot that and keep it in a folder.
Really?
So I can know, hey, at this date and this time they were selling for this amount.
Here's your high water mark or low water mark or whatever.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So this is the last one on the table. This is, again, Rugged Mountain Blade Works, the same guy that did the Mammoth one. But this is one of the most comfortable fixed blades I've ever felt. The way it comes back in, the jimping, it's not for show. Like sometimes people put jimping up there and you put your thumb on there and your thumb just goes over. It's like not even there. I'm like, why waste the machining time to get that in or whatever? So, but that's one of the best feeling fixed blades I've ever
Oh, that
done.
jimping is aggressive.
And
that's nice.
He brought me one of his first knives. He's all, give me feedback. And the feedback I gave him was it's too heavy.
Yeah.
So he went back and he redesigned. Him and his brother are backpackers, and so they go for weight. And he has some that you'll pick it up and they have a good size, and you're like, oh my goodness, it's so light.
Yeah.
And that's what he's gone for. And so I like his designs quite a bit.
It's amazing.
Another Utah maker.
Eric, what a pleasure.
It's been fun.
Okay, last thing today. We do 3D printed things. Today on Fresh Prints, Austin has printed a basketball. Give that a little. Give it a little bounce.
I played ball and I coached ball. This is actually kind of fun.
It's pretty close, isn't it?
I will be printing one of these this week.
It's super cool. The reason we like 3D printing is all of our scale files for our knives are available online at knafs.com. You can print whatever you would like. And if you have a printer, you can also print this amazing basketball. Eric, what a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you. If people want to find you, where do they find you?
On Instagram at blades_n_bullets. Blades and bullets.
Are you selling any of the knives on the table?
None of these are for sale. No.
Everything's for
but
sale,
I've got
friends.
about 100 other knives, so hit me up.
Guys, we'll have another episode coming out for you next week. Thanks for watching.